All right, this is a preface here to this beginning because we're re-recording this little segment because Prince did an awful job at the first one. So you're going to hear me say he's 0 for 2, but I'm sure he's going to do a good one now. Go ahead.
Hello, Fight Insight fans, viewers, and listeners. I'm the Filipino podcasting machine, Princey D. With me, as always, the man formerly known as Timbo Slice. Last week, we had a fantastic time with legendary ring announcer Joe Martinez. Please check it out if you haven't already, and be sure to subscribe and follow us on IG, YouTube, or wherever you get your pods. And please leave 5-star reviews. On today's podcast, it's all about boxing edition. We talk to a pro boxer turned gym owner. We talk about Pacquiao versus Ugas, Paul versus Woodley, Ortiz versus Silva, pick our fighters for Weekly Fight on Site, and a whole lot more. Tim, hit it.
Yeah, it's Timmy B, Princey D, Fight Insight. Yeah, that's right.
That's 0 for 2 in the last two podcasts.
0 for 2, that is brutal. Oh my goodness.
Our guest today is a pro boxer with a professional record of 10-1. He now owns and coaches out of his own gym, Get Enhanced Inc. in London, Ontario, Canada. We're excited to talk to him today about his experiences in boxing, running a gym, and how he manages it all with a 1-year-old daughter running around the house. Ladies and gentlemen, from London, Ontario, please welcome
Marc El Guapo Pagcaliwangan.
Hey.
That was pretty good. That was good.
Not bad?
Not bad. That was really good.
Marc, you know what? I think Joe Martinez will be very proud because you know what? I was actually practicing your name all the way up into this podcast. I was close, but thanks for clarifying us before this podcast started. So I appreciate that, man. That's
man.
Huge help for our end.
Anytime, bro. That was really good. That was pretty good. You pronounced it on the spot. That was good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That was great.
Marc, thanks so much for joining the podcast, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's a huge pleasure to have you on. We want to talk to you about like your experiences in boxing. This podcast, actually, we're just going to talk all boxing, the whole thing.
Awesome.
So we're going to start with really, who is Marc Pagcaliwangan?
Well, I'm a father, gym owner, fighter, coach, and loving life, man. Loving life. I've had my pro fight career is 10 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 8 wins by knockout. I've fought since 2017. And along the way, I got married. I've had a baby, and I've opened up a gym. So
nice. That's amazing.
That's life right now. Yeah. Thank you.
It's crazy. And I mean, when did the gym open? Get Enhanced Inc.
Literally right in the middle of a pandemic, November, just this past November. But hey, man, it's been a blessing. We've been doing well. We've been gaining members. You know, we're doing all right. We're doing good. So like, thankfully, we've only been open for like how many months? Like what, 4 or 5 months? Because like we've had about 3 lockdowns, right? And they're all like what, 4 weeks long, or no, like months long, right? So yeah, man, we've been doing good. You know, we've been working. I have lots of young up and coming hungry fighters, and they want to make a name for themselves, so they're working hard too. So we're doing good here, you know.
And Marc, have you noticed that since the lockdowns opened up, there's been a whole flood of people coming in? Like, I want to be a boxer. I want to learn how to do this.
Yeah. Like when the gym just opened up again, just after the last lockdown, we just got really busy. So my gym is not only a boxing gym. We have boot camp. We have jiu-jitsu. We just added kickboxing as well too. So it's just, we have a lot of signups with everything right now.
Nice. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and we'll get to your gym as well. But before we do, you know, how did you get involved in boxing?
Well, I've always loved fighting. I was a kid, but I was one of those kids who was like shy, quiet, but I love martial arts. I love the Jackie Chan movies, the Bruce Lee movies, Jet Li, my all-time favorite. But what happened? So my parents put me into Taekwondo when I was about like 5 years old, and I continued karate, and I did karate later on, then Taekwondo again, and then me and my dad were at a convenience store back in the day when you can actually rent movies in the convenience store. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Of course, and I used to manage a movie store.
Yeah, it was awesome, right? But anyways, there's this movie called Ali with Will Smith, is about Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And that movie got me hooked with boxing. And then there was this like there at the time, my old like family church, there was this Filipino family, these two brothers, who was well known for boxing. So my dad said, "Oh, maybe we could try boxing, right?" And I was like ecstatic about it. I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to box." So I was about like 12 years old or so. I started boxing when I was 13, and I never looked back ever since. So that was my journey. I started my journey when I was 13 years old, and I'm 31 now.
Mark, you know what? I thought your inspiration was gonna be like every Filipino fighter's uncle, Tito Manny Pacquiao. I thought that's the ultimate response, right? So
that was actually later on, right? So like when I got a little older, so like I think when I first heard of Manny when I was about 14, 15 years old, and when I first watched Manny, that was all. I was like, oh, I'm doing this now. I'm going pro. Like I had all these plans of like what I want to do. I want to go to LA. I want to go train with Manny Pacquiao. I want to do all that. All like that's when I got really serious, right? So like I remember when I was young, I started sparring. I was more of a I was like kind of timid when I used to spar. I would always get beat up, and because I was always backing out, right? Whatever. But when I saw Manny Pacquiao fight, like I saw how aggressive he was, I saw how fast he was, I saw how he was knocking people out. So then I started like imitating his style, right? And that kind of like made me progress, got me better, got me more confidence. And because of Manny, I got better in boxing pretty much. I just got more aggressive, right? But yeah, like I owe it all to Manny. He was like he was my motivation too.
But that's amazing, because we all have, or like, you'll often hear that from fighters. They'll say, hey, there was this one person, that was my inspiration. That's who drove me. But you're a young Filipino kid in London, Ontario, having those dreams. And then you grow up and you actually go and train with Manny Pacquiao, right? Like you actually went to Wild Card. And so how the heck does that happen?
It was actually really random. So I remember this guy who owned a clothing company in LA. He was friends with some people with Manny Pacquiao, who's under Manny Pacquiao, right? And he sponsored a couple of fighters, and he sponsored me. Then I had this one fight, and he said, "Oh, after you fight, we'll fly you down to LA, but you have to you have to pay for your own expenses though." And I was like, okay, shit, yeah, I'll do that because this is my one fight. I was like, oh, hey, I'm gonna make like $5,000. I can fly me and my girlfriend out. Like, I can do that. Like, whatever. So I won my fight, and then they said like, yeah, Manny Pacquiao's team know about you. Let's fly you down. So I flew down there, and I met up with my one sponsor, and he brought his other boxer that he sponsors, and she was more into in the circle with Pacquiao's team. So she brought me along with Pacquiao's team, and that's when I met Manny. And I was going for my runs with him, and it was awesome. It was a great experience. I had this one great experience with him though, because before that time, I knew that I was gonna run with Manny, and I know like he goes for long distance runs. So I would run like every day. Like I would train just to train with Manny, right? Running all the time, and we were running up Griffith Park, and there was we were up by all up these hills, and there was 30 of us running. There were about 30 of us, and once Manny started sprinting up the hills, I was trying to keep up with him, and all those other people started dropping like flies, but I was the only one, and we made it up to the top of the hill together. And he looked impressed. He's like, "Oh, you didn't stop?" I said no, and then we started talking. He was asking me where am I from. What's my record, what weight do I fight in, and we're just like having a good conversation. So it was a great experience, and that wasn't the first time. Like that wasn't the only time I was invited. So I went in there like a couple more training camps of Manny's. So it was a great experience. That one opportunity, like for me, like making it to the top of the hill with him, that got him noticing me. So I was pretty proud of that. You know?
Mark, did you end up like trying and save some of his sweat? Like when he was running, we were trying to catch it. And I need some of your powers, I guess. Like who knows, man? The superpower and just like all over your body, because who knows? Maybe it might rub off on you, right?
I know, right? All of a sudden I'll have like a thick Filipino accent, and then I'll be fighting a southpaw.
Yeah.
And this mushroom haircut and everything.
I
You got the
know.
works. There you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, I mean, that's such a cool story, though. I mean, like that you have that for the rest of your life, you know, and then now flipping it around to now where you have a gym and you're able to probably be that inspiration to other young fighters. So, I mean, but before we get there, I do want to say, you know, Prince and I and the Fight Insight podcast, we're partnering up with Filipino TV here in Canada, all across Canada. Yeah, so that, I mean, we've been really blessed with that, and we're so happy. We met James, and we're on Sports Weekly, you know, every other week or something like that. We're on this week on Filipino TV if you're watching. And when we were there last time in studio, we told them, we said, oh, we're going to see Marc. You know, he's a Filipino boxer in London. And all the guys there, the cameraman, the host, they're like, yeah, we know Marc. They're like, he's a great guy. He's a wonderful guy. We were there with him for one of his fights, and we've been following him around. Yeah. So you are very well known in the community. And what I wanted to ask you is, like, you know, how has that been growing up, being such a successful professional boxer, getting that love from the community, not just Canadian, but maybe like Filipino-Canadian fans?
It's been great. Like, a lot of the Filipino community, like Filipino community supports me. But I've had some like pushback from the Filipinos because I wasn't born in the Philippines. They don't really consider me as Filipino. But I've had, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all of them were, but some of them were, right? But most of the Filipinos, they support me, like the Filipino TV. Like, they were there for my fights. They interviewed me, followed me around. I think they were there for my last fight, which I lost. And they were there, and they were very supportive there. Yeah, so the Filipino community has been great. They for some of my fights, we would go to the restaurants in Toronto, and they would like sell my tickets for me. I remember from my one fight, which I had a draw, I had like 300 Filipinos in attendance. Like, we sold out. We had so many Filipinos there. You just saw Philippine flags everywhere, right? They were just ecstatic about me fighting in Ontario. So yeah, I guess they looked up to me a lot. They're wishing for me to be like the next Filipino star coming from Canada, but you know.
Yeah,
no, but you are.
You're the Manny P of London. London, Ontario, man.
I think you got to expand that border a little bit, Prince. I don't know. I feel like you got to expand it.
London.
It's funny that you mentioned that too, Marc. Is just in terms of people being born here and being born in the Philippines, and you know, the divide between the two. But hey, listen, it's all about unity. And Marc, the fact that you're in here repping, and we see you carrying the flag, that brings a lot of pride. So good for you, buddy.
Thank you, man. It means a lot.
So what would the advice be that you give to young fighters coming up training, and how to achieve success?
Just keep working hard, right? Never give up just because you're having a rough time, right? I remember I would because I came from this small city, London, Ontario. We're not really known for boxing. We're known for UFC because of we have a few UFC fighters come from the city, right? You had Malcolm Gordon. He was trained here in London, right? He's my boy, right? So, but we're really known for London, and I was from this small gym, and at the time, Ontario had like two associations for boxing. There's OBA and then Boxing Ontario. OBA was like a small association where you can't go to nationals, and we have our own little provincial tournaments. We have our own Golden Glove tournaments. But the big dog is the Box Ontario, right? Because in that association, you can go to nationals and you can represent the country. You can go international tournaments, whatever, right? So I was fighting out of OBA, and you know, when I went pro, nobody really took it seriously because they're like, oh, this guy fought in OBA. Like, he doesn't have much experience. Doesn't have a lot of international experience. And if I like that, kind of like put me down. And at the time too, like, I moved to Toronto to start training my first pro fight. The first like month, I got my ass kicked in sparring by all these amateurs. And I'm the guy that's supposed to be going pro. It was embarrassing, right? Like, I could have quit there and then, but I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna keep going. But then I eventually started catching up with all these guys, and I started doing well against these guys. So, you know, it's all about never giving up. Keep working hard. Just keep your eyes on the prize. You have that one goal, you have that dream, just keep going for it, right? Just keep working hard, right? That's it. Hard work pays off. I always say that to all my students. Keep working hard.
Mark, I was hoping you were going to give some advice outside of the box. I was hoping you were going to say, listen, in order to go to this gym, you're going to have a fade, a beard, some sort of piercings, and tattoos also that you don't know what the meaning of is, and you'll be allowed in. So I was hoping you were going to say that, Mark, so that everybody knows you got to come in. It's like a uniform. You got to have the fade, either a man bun, all that stuff. So yeah.
Hey, when I first started, I looked like I was a nerdy little Filipino guy. I had glasses. I think I had braces. I don't think I did. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I had braces. But I was really, really, I had no tattoos. Now I'm all tatted, but back then, no tattoos at all. But no. I see what you mean. When you look at the crowd in like an MMA gym, they're all like, beard, piercing, tattoos,
Yeah,
and it's that slow transition into this. Your first glasses and braces, and a slow transition into this person that owns a motorcycle club. That's usually how it works.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I mean, because when Mark sent us photos of him, I said, "Hey, I need some photos of you so I can use for like when we're asking for fan questions." And the photos you sent, man, you're like super jacked and ripped, and it's just tattoos everywhere. I'm like, I don't think that's a nerdy kid, man. That's a pro fighter right there for sure.
But Tim, you got to say something about his pictures too, right? In all his pictures, it looks like he doesn't look like he's looking straight at the camera, but he knows the camera's right there. But he knows to taking a picture of him. Like this.
You have to look away from the camera. You have to look away from the camera.
Smart.
You have to look away from the camera. You can't be looking at the camera, right? You got to look away from it.
There you go. So Mark, you now find yourself owning and running your gym in London, Ontario, Get Enhanced Inc. First question I got to ask, where does that name come from?
Well, I have partners, right? We're a team. So it's me and three other personal trainers. So I run the boxing area, right? The fighting area. They run like the boot camps and the personal training, all the conditioning stuff. So my partners are like high level personal trainers. They train like professional football players, hockey players. They train like university athletes. They're high level guys, and they want like the name Enhanced, right? Because we're enhancing your abilities, right? And they're just like, no, what would we get? How we say Get Enhanced? Because whenever you come here, you're improving yourself. You're getting enhanced. Right, so
nice.
We just came up with that name. Yeah.
All right, cool. And you said
it's pretty simple.
And no, it's good. And I like the logo. And you said that the gym is for anybody, not just those looking to become professional fighters.
Yeah.
So you've got classes of all levels, and you said the different disciplines. You've got the you said kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, boxing, and then obviously doing like strength and conditioning stuff and things like that.
Yep. I'll actually, I'll later in a bit. I'm in the gym right now. I'll walk you guys through. Just people are there working out, and I'll show you around the gym. It's 12,000 square feet. I got 2 floors, right? So we're 12,000 square feet, 2 floors. Upstairs is the boxing and personal training area, and downstairs is the jiu-jitsu and the boot camp area. So I'll walk you around. It's a nice facility.
That sounds amazing, and we'll definitely we're gonna get out there one day, Mark, because
you have to.
Yeah, because Filipino TV was saying, like, now that we're partnered up with them, they're like, if you want to go out and do interviews, we can take the camera crew and go out there. So one day for sure we'll get out to London and, show your gym around and get some publicity. In the meantime, we'll put the links to your gym in our show notes. For those of you listening on audio, check the show notes, or on YouTube, come on over, and we'll put your links there for your gym so they can follow you, Mark, and find you.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
And actually, another important question also, Mark, I mean, since you're living over there in London, is there a Jollibee there?
No, there isn't, bro.
Opportunity.
I know.
Opportunity.
Business, right? We do that.
Mark, listen,
we have lots of Filipinos here too.
Listen, when the dust is settled, when the pandemic's over, when the dust settles, the only thing that's going to be left is Walmart and Jollibee. That's it. Those are the only 2 things left in this world. I'm telling you that. You guys mark my words. That's it.
Since the Jollibee first opened up in in Mississauga, I've only been there once, bro.
Oh, really?
There's one in Scarborough. There's one
actually, the first one actually opened up in Kennedy. I'm telling you, the lineup was up it was up to Kennedy to Morningside. That's how far it was. People were lined up all the way to the highway. I took the express.
Shit.
Tomatoes, potatoes.
That's good, man. Mark, so you've got your gym, you've got people of all levels, but I'm assuming that, based on who you are and based on what you bring, there's going to be people there that are coming to you because they want to turn professional or that want to compete and at the very least an amateur and want to compete and want to utilize your experience. How does that go? Like how's your fight camps for the kids or for the young adults?
It's going well. Since now we're in stage 3, we can have some type of contact. So before the last lockdown, we weren't allowed to have any contact. Remember that? So like everyone had to stay 6 feet apart. So our gym's pretty much set up where all the bags are like far from each other. So for the first part, I just made them do like bag drills like the whole time, and I was teaching them to do stuff off from the bag, and then later on I started getting them to do like a little bit of technique before they hit the bag, and then they start hitting the bag. But now now that we're allowed to have some contact, we've been doing like some partner drills, some light sparring, right? But I'm teaching them certain things, so each week is something different, right? So like when we first opened up again, we started doing a week of defense, which is like, we're focused on slips, rolling, right? And then the next week it was like parrying, punches, blocking the punches. The week after that, it was like finding like the step back, like stepping away from the punches, finding the range. After that, it was all about counter punching. And this week was like pretty much all about footwork and angles and all that. And next week's gonna be about something else. So I'm like slowly breeding these people who want to like actually learn how to fight, and we're doing things like slowly, right? Partner drills, pad work, like a lot of light sparring for them to get used to being in the ring, getting them used to having punches thrown at them and like that, right? So it's like a whole like science, and it's weird because I've been coaching for quite some time now, but now that I've owned my gym, now that I spend my whole days in the gym and coaching like different people every single day, it's starting to click, right? So now I'm at that point now where like I can see little things. I know what to show them. I know what to tell them. I know what person is struggling with what technique, and so like it's great. I'm really excited. Right? I'm excited for competition to happen to open up again and have my young guys compete, right? So I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
When you were fighting before, did you ever corner people throughout your career? Were you ever cornering people before?
Yeah, my wife.
Okay.
My wife was a fighter.
Oh, okay.
I helped corner her, and along with my coach, because my coach trained my wife as well. And my wife, Caroline Casson, she was a beast, bro. She was doing well in the fight game. She had some good fights. She actually fought the Olympian Manny Pacquiao and like did well against her. She lost a decision, but she did really well against an Olympian. And my wife at the time probably had like 13 fights. I can't remember. She had just like over 10 fights, and at the time, Mandy was in the Olympics, right? So it was good, yeah. So I've had the honor to like be in her corner, and I've cornered other guys at some gym that I used to be at, right? So I've had some experience. I also corner guys in the octagon because I trained some MMA guys too. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So lots of experience there that you can lean on, that you're going to be able to help these young guys. Is there anybody at your gym now that you want to give a shout out to? Anybody that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, Francesco, Juan, who else? Gino, Francesco's little brother. Gino, he started out here, and he's coming along. He started doing some light sparring. He's looking good. Juan, the guy I just mentioned, he's actually my Ryan Garcia, right? Kind of looks like him too, but he's like skinnier, younger. But he's a southpaw. He's good. I started him out. I remember when he first started, and he only started in November because we opened up in November, right? So he's looking good. Rabi Adi, he's just recovering from a shoulder surgery, but he's coming along. But he'll be ready to go. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. No, that's going to be amazing. I mean, that'll be so exciting to see, and I'm sure like on your Instagram and stuff, you'll be promoting those guys when they start to go, right? So
yeah. So
awesome.
I actually post a lot about them on my story. So you probably I'll keep doing it too. So you'll probably see them. So,
yeah, that's awesome. All right, we have some fan questions. So we went out to the fans and we looked, to see some good questions. We got quite a few good ones. So I'm gonna start with nothing bad.
Okay.
I'll start with one that you were kind of getting onto. Southpaw Supremacy asks, which side of the fight game do you prefer, coaching or competing? Coaching. Sorry, yeah,
Damn.
coaching or competing as a fighter.
Damn, I like them both, especially now that like it's starting to click a lot more. Like I'm starting to see things. I'm good at fixing things right away. But I'm not gonna lie, when I see some fights on TV, I'm like, ooh, bro, I could actually do some damage. You know, I still see some fights. I'm like, oh, like the Rigondeaux and Casimiro fight, the Filipino guy that won on the weekend. I'm just like, oh man, I would do good against these guys. You know, but at this moment right now, I'm enjoying the coach life. You know, the coach life right now. So, but you never know. You never know if it's written in stone that I'll come back. Then maybe I'll come back. But at this moment, I'm busy. I'm busy with this gym. So
nice. Are you? I mean, I can't tell, but are you staying in good shape? Are you staying in fight shape? What's
not fight shape, but I would I would do a workout on my own. I would train before I teach my class. Right. I come in here early. I'll lift. I'll do my boxing workout. So I try to stay relatively in shape. I don't spar anymore as much. Sometimes I'll like help some kids around. I move around with some of the kids. Sometimes I'll move around with like amateur boxer here and there. But I'm not really like in like fight mode or fight shape, you know. But I'll still like watch what I eat most of the time, right? But I would try to stay in shape.
So Mark, do you still have the stuff on your abdomen? It's called abs. Do you still have those?
Yeah, I have 4 right now. I can see 4. Well, I have to flex it really hard though, and I have to pull my stomach down like this.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know?
Yeah. How many? I mean, I try to keep it. You know, I'm not in fight shape right now either. How many bags of cookies do you eat a day? Like, I just want to know how I am.
If I go to Subway, I'll have 6. Well, no, six cookies, not bags, but 6.
Oh, okay.
It's like 6 bags of cookies.
6 bags, I'm doing okay.
Like, you savage, take off your shirt. Let me see it. Let me see your abs.
Next question is our good friends at MMA Social Squad. They run a great Instagram page. What is the biggest goal that you would like to achieve outside of boxing?
Outside of boxing?
Yeah.
I want to help as many kids as I can, whether they want to fight or stay in shape, keep them out of trouble. Yeah, is that considered boxing? Because
no. I mean, no. That's a very philanthropic type goal, right? To help others and to do for others. Is the London scene like tough? Like, do you have, you know, you often hear about that, like some kids are in a bad state or they're, you know, going down the wrong path.
Yeah, it's pretty rough here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you do have the ability to kind of help youngsters and things like that.
Yep, I do. Right, awesome. And a lot of the people here are like young kids too, right? So I do want to help them out, keep them out of trouble, right? And hopefully, not hopefully, I know I will, like, you know, keep them out of trouble and become champion, right? So get these guys, make them champion, you know, make them keep them on the straight path, and, you know, continue working hard. So that's my goal. Yeah.
Good.
Mark, you sound like the boxing movies. You know, the boxing coach is like, I gotta make sure that they stay, keep them out of the streets, right? And actually, Mark, I was surprised. I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, one of my goals is to hopefully drop an album by next week." You know,
like a rapper or something,
like a rapper or singer. I don't know. I thought that's what I thought. I thought you were gonna drop some of that, but no,
karaoke singer champion or something, eh?
That's it. But, you know, all jokes aside, I just want to say that's a you know, something that's very, you know, I admire that about individuals as well, especially, you know, you have that ability to do so. And so, I mean, a lot of times we're so very, like, again, self-centered centered in terms of just like, all about me, and then you start to forget about the people around you, right? And then Mark, I mean, you're in an area that needs the support, and seeing how how you've come up from all the way coming over there, and then having your own gym and being a boxing coach and people knowing about you, this is a positive influence that that we should definitely be pushing into the community. So my hat goes off to you, buddy.
Thank you, appreciate it, man. Thank you,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No, and I want to second that. Great answer, because the question was, what do you want to achieve for yourself? And really what you want to achieve is to see great things in others. So yeah. Good answer. Now I know why all those Filipino TV guys love you at the at the studio. Last question. I thought this was a really good one. Or actually 2 more questions, but this question was really good. This was Tony's_student. He asks, how much time should I give boxing training if I'm just doing it as a hobby, but I do want to be able to defend myself?
That's a good question. Yeah, I would say like all you need is like an hour a day, right? An hour a day if you want to learn how to defend yourself. Get yourself with like an actual fight coach, right? That knows how to that teach you, because like teach someone how to do like boxer size boxing versus like actual boxing are 2 different things, right? The training is different, right? Because I teach boxing too. Like I don't teach defense. I just have people here they want to just like smack the bag for an hour or whatnot.
Right.
But the boxing class, they teach you actually teach you technique. They teach you how to like defend punches, how to like find your range, right? Where's the range? Where's where your opponent punching from, right? Like how to slip punches, how to block punches, how to give it back. So if I were you, first thing, it doesn't matter like how long you train. It matters about who you're learning from. That's my advice. Learn from a fight coach, right? Learn like get into the ring, spar some fighters, right? Get some advice from actual fighters who's fought, right? That's my advice.
Nice. And that's another excellent answer, actually, because when I read the question, I'm like, well, what do you mean? How long do you want to train for? Because I mean, you should continue to do it. And like what you're saying, not just train every day for 1 hour, but find a coach that is suitable for that, which would be a fight coach, not just a aerobic exercise type coach. Yeah,
exactly.
No, nice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Last question before we move on with other stuff. But the last question directed towards you is actually, it's coming from me. I want to know, would you want or be supportive if your daughter wants to become a boxer or a fighter, follow in daddy and mommy's path?
Yeah, I'm not going to control her life. I'm actually, as soon as she starts like walking, I'm going to teach her how to throw a 1, 2, 3, right? Yeah, I'm going to teach her. I want her to learn how to fight so she can defend herself. I don't want no kids bullying her in school, right? And I also do some jiu-jitsu as well too. So I want her to learn some jiu-jitsu, right? So like whatever she wants to do in life, whatever she wants to do, I'll 100% support it. If she wants to be, a fighter, I'll support her. I'll get her the best like coaches, like along with myself. If she wants to be an MMA fighter, I'll get her the best MMA coaches out there, right? So whatever she wants to do, even from boxing to MMA. She wants to be a ballerina, I don't care, as long as she's happy, right?
And just as long as she can throw a jab.
Yeah, as long as she needs to know how to throw a 1, 2, 3, especially a left hook before she goes to school, or even an arm bar. As long as she knows how to throw a 1, 2, 3 and an arm bar, I'm happy. All right, then I'll let her go to school, do whatever she has to do.
Mark's like, I don't ask for much, but just do a proper arm bar and just and a 1, 2, 3, and that's all I ask for. That's just simple things, simple things in life.
Just simple, right? You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Mark, again, we really appreciate you coming on. Before we move on with the rest of the stuff, and we're going to talk about some fights that are coming up, is there anyone that you want to say thanks to, or anyone that you want to give a shout out, but just before we move on?
I want to give a shout out to my my business partners, Ryan, Marlon, Christine, Steve. They're they helped me out a lot, changed my life for the better here, and I'm happy. We have a great team. Obviously, my wife, Caroline Casson, cannot do anything without you. She's a Wonder Woman. I don't know how she does it. Like I'm here working a lot, and she's at home along with the baby too, and along with that, she's doing all her stuff like cooking, cleaning. I don't know how she does it. I come home with a nice like clean house with like food. I'm spoiled, to be honest. Yeah, and she's a killer herself too. She's start training again too. So I want to give her a shout out. My baby, my family, my young fighters too. So we're working hard. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So, Mark, you're okay to stick around, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Actually, Tim, Mark, before we go with the next thing on the podcast, at Fight Insight, we not only research about our fighters and get to know more about what's happening in their daily life and also their fight careers, but we actually go in depth in terms of what's really happening with Mark. And so I actually wanted to share with you guys a picture here.
Oh, geez. How did you find that?
Oh no, Mark. I'm sorry. We can't. We from a reliable source. So as you can see, Mark was styling profiling way back in the day. So you can see with the jean overall. See,
is that from Angelo? Is that from Angelo?
You know what? I cannot
reveal the sources.
The source.
You hired a PI, did you? Eh? You hired a PI.
Filipino investigator. That's it. Hands off.
That's awesome.
All right,
man, that's awesome. Jeez.
So to all the people that are watching this podcast, because Mark is here, and I know Mark probably, like many of your gym buddies and stuff like that, and family and friends and fans are going to watch the podcast because you're here. Please do follow us on YouTube, on Instagram. We're at Fight Insight Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, you'll find us. But please do follow us and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Mark, do you want to talk about the more ridiculous fights first or the more serious fights first? Which order do you want to go?
Surprise me. I'm prepared, bro. I'm good with that. With whatever.
All right. Let's go with the ones that we'll go from furthest away to closest.
Okay.
The first one I guess we got to look at is
I heard about that.
Thriller.
Geez.
Okay, so this is from MMAJunkie.com has said that Anderson the Spider Silva is going to be, I think this must be his second professional boxing fight.
Yeah.
He's taking on Tito Ortiz on Triller. Triller, who previously brought you the great Askren versus Paul fight.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Mark, what
biggest
the heck
fight in history? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Anderson Silva will win that fight, though. Did you see his last fight?
Yeah.
He schooled he schooled Chavez.
Yeah,
like,
no, hold on.
right?
It's not a question of if Anderson will win. Is Tito gonna die? Like,
how old is he now? 50 or something?
I don't know, man. The guy, I mean, in MMA in his prime, he was not a striker.
I know. He's a wrestler, right? Yeah, he's a wrestler, something like that.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Love Tito, one of the greatest. But to go into a boxing match against Anderson Silva.
He's getting paid good though. He's getting paid good though. I can see why you said yes for the paycheck.
Yeah,
I didn't say it's for a paycheck. So, but I don't know. He might die. He might die for sure. Thank you, Silva.
Yeah, I mean, what did you watch Anderson's last fight? I admit I did not, but
to be honest, I just saw like some of the clips.
Okay.
I didn't want to waste a lot of time watching that, but I saw some clips and he looked really good. I heard that he was actually a professional boxer before he went into MMA. I heard he's had 2 fights. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's had 2 fights and he's won them both. Right. So his main thing was boxing before he went into the MMA scene. So, he looked good, right? That's why I think he's just gonna, beat Tito up real bad and get a good paycheck. So
yeah,
I thought he was gonna fight Logan Paul. They were talking about that not long ago too.
That's probably next, right? I mean, who knows? But Prince, what do you got on that fight?
Listen, man, unless Tito Ortiz develops a new punch called a punch kick or something like that to knock Anderson Silva out, when was the last time he fought? That's the question, right?
Tito fought. I feel like didn't Tito fight Chuck under some sort of, wasn't it under the I swear I thought Tito fought Chuck Liddell maybe 4 years ago under Golden Boy Promotions. Wasn't it under something like that? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it obviously was not memorable, and it would have been MMA. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. The one thing is that Tito can take a punch. So
yeah, but how many? That's the
And from the spider too. From the spider, you're getting
Yeah.
that punch from the spider. Like that man can throw, like he can throw haymakers left, right, and center, and he can get you
Yeah.
from such weird angles as well. So
Yeah.
and he's got that reach advantage too. Well, I wonder what the reach difference is, right? So
I think it's about
Yeah.
9. I think it's a 9 feet reach advantage.
Holy.
it's like this with a stick.
Yeah, he's just gonna.
Too good.
That's gonna be a tough fight.
It's
I
gonna,
feel-
yeah.
yeah.
It's gonna
I
be a
feel-
tough one for Tito.
Yeah, I feel like all three of us are voting for or are picking Anderson on that one. All right, next fight we have is
Oh.
big
goat.
big money fight. Wait, who's the GOAT here? Jake Paul? So we're talking Jake Paul
I was
versus
being
Tyron.
sarcastic. Oh man.
Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. I do want to talk to you about this though, Mark. Have you watched Jake's other fights?
No, I just
I mean,
no, I don't want to support that. But at first, I really, really hated Jake because it was like, man, who's this guy, a YouTube guy, want to come into boxing, and it's not fair for all the other pros who's starving, and then they're working their ass off, but this guy gets like hand fed. But the fight games where it's an entertainment too, right? So from my understanding, I don't actually think he believes he's like, he can actually beat Canelo. He's calling out Canelo.
Right.
I think what he's doing is just like being like looking like the victim, right? No, not victim. Sorry, the bad guy, right? Look at Floyd Mayweather. Before he was called Money, he was called Pretty Boy, right? And he was quiet. He was knocking people out, but then he transitioned and had a different persona, right? And he started talking shit, and now he's flashing money. He has a different persona, right? But what he always said is either they hate me or they love me, right? Either they watch me lose, or they watch me to win. They're all paying, right?
Yeah.
I think what this guy is doing, he's like getting everybody all like pissed off because they want to like tune in and watch the guy lose, right?
Yeah.
But he, at the end of the day, he's getting paid, right? But I don't like the fact, like, how these YouTube guys who've never fought before can enter like a pro boxing ring and think they can perform. It's dangerous. They can get hurt. It's not like amateur boxing too, right? Like pro ring, you got small gloves, right? You can get hurt. No headgear, right? So
but
I don't agree that.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to fight me, Mark. But but he does look like he trains a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he looks like he's taking
it
it serious. So I mean, if let's say there's a London YouTuber that says, "Hey man, I've got some beef with some other YouTuber. His Pokemon videos are doing better than mine, and I want to fight this guy." And he puts in the effort, like he puts in the work, and he joins Get Enhanced Inc. and he's there and he's every day and he's putting in the work. At some point, I feel like we do have to acknowledge that Paul is now a boxer. Like at some point, he's putting in the work to achieve that.
Yeah.
He may have not taken the long game to achieve the main event status, obviously.
Yeah, that's the thing. That you're right. You're right there. You're right. He is training hard. He's always posting all the videos. He like sell his like mansion in LA to move to like Florida or something. So he can like take boxing seriously. Yeah. He is considered like I said that wrong. He is considered a pro fighter. But what I don't like is like all these like because there's he's not the only one. There's all these other like YouTube guys going into the pro boxing ring with like no experience at all, right? But with Jake and Logan, they've already like kind of established themselves and they are considered pro fighters now. They have more than like 2 fights, right? They fought so technically, they are pro fighters, right? Because a lot of pro fighters, like when they first turn pro, their first like 10 fights are like easier opponents to like build themselves up, right? So I see what they're doing with the Paul brothers. They are building them up, right? But and they're talking a lot of shit along the way so they can get more followers, whether you like them or not, right? So
well, I mean, like he's fighting Tyron Woodley, okay, who hasn't won an MMA fight in a long time. He's not really known as being a striker per se. I mean, he came in more as a wrestler.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? you obviously watch MMA. You know who Woodley is. Who do you think is
Yeah.
going to take that fight? If the fight is real, mind you. But let's assume
Yeah.
it's real. Who's going to take that fight?
I don't know. Now we're looking at like look what happened to Askren, right? Like I was thinking Askren was gonna win. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Askren was gonna win, but oh man, I don't know. I can see. I can see Woodley winning it only because like now he's trained with Floyd, right? He's getting the proper training. He's taking training seriously, right? He's looking good. I don't know if you guys seen his videos lately with his pad work, his training. He's looking good. He's got some power behind his punches as well, and he's an experienced fighter, right? This guy's been fighting since he was a kid, right? He's been in it all. He's been in the UFC. He's been wrestling. He's done it all. I think he may have the edge over like because of experience, but hey man, that's what I said about Askren, and he got knocked out, so I could be wrong, right? So we'll see, and what Jake has is his age. He's young. He's hungry, right? he wants to prove people wrong. So it's gonna be a tough fight to judge. I don't know, man. I think Woodley might take it only because of his experience, but we'll find out. Well, when is the fight again? August.
August. Hold on here. August 29th.
Oh,
so
yep.
It's very soon.
Wow, it is pretty soon.
And
Prince,
they're doing
who you got?
Listen, man. This whole thing. I'm convinced this whole thing's rigged. The whole thing's rigged. Come on, man. He knocked out Nate Robinson. Okay, basketball player, but then he knocked out Ben Askren. Like he knocked him out first round, right? That was like it was bam. You click. And
not first round. First punch.
Sorry, first punch.
First punch. Second punch, man. Second punch. He set up with the left and then right
over the top, right? So you know what? Watch this, you guys. You've heard it here first. Woodley's gonna get knocked out first round, and everyone's gonna Prince, I don't know, and watch it happen because. For some, look, you even analyze after the fight, and even Tim, you were the one who pointed this out. I had to rewatch it again. When you see Ben walking in the back, he's like, bag secured. Back into the dressing room. So I honestly think it's Paul's gonna take it, and it's gonna be by knockout. I just don't know how they're gonna set it up. I guess maybe they're planning it out now in the ring, right? So maybe if you get me with a hook. Right in the middle, that'd be perfect. So I think that's what I think is going to happen. Tim, what do you think?
I think Paul is putting in the work. I think he's dedicating himself. I think he's going to do it. I really do think he's going to do it. But if I had to take a bet, I'm going to put my money on Woodley. I think, this guy does not want to be a laughing stock. He does like the Fox analyst desks and stuff like that for MMA fights, right? Like he goes on and he wants to be a commentator. Like he wants to still be involved in the world of sports and of MMA. There's no way he's going to go back to the desk and talk with Karen Bryant after he just got starched by Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be very detrimental to his career. So if Askren took a dive or anything like that, I don't think Woodley's going to do it. And to Mark's point, I think his experience and stuff like that should get him through, put the pressure on, get in tight. I think he's shorter, right? I feel like he's going to have a reach disadvantage. So I think he's got to get in close, bully him up. Woodley's a big boy. Yeah. There's no USADA, right? So I think Woodley's going to be juiced. I think he's going to come in and be a big boy.
I would really like to see that urine sample. Like, oh my God, why is it crystallizing? Wow.
Yeah, what the heck?
Like,
all right, next fight, and this one, hits home for you, Mark, of course, as it does for Prince.
Oh yeah.
Pacquiao versus Ugas. Of course, this is not the fight we thought we were going to get. We actually talked about this fight on Filipino TV on our last appearance, and that was the day they changed the opponent. Marc Pacquiao is now fighting Ugas, who is an orthodox fighter, right? Whereas Spence was a fellow southpaw. I don't know if that plays into anything with you, but what do you think in terms of this fight?
To be honest, I don't know much about the Cuban fighter, but I have to do some more research on him. I gotta watch more of his fights. I only watched him like a couple of times before, but it wasn't enough for me to really judge it. But I think right now, I think Manny's on fire right now. He's the older he gets, the stronger and faster, smarter he's getting, right? So you understand, like, yeah, he hasn't fought in a little bit, right? But his last fight, he's fighting all these young guys and beating them. Like, look what he did to Thurman, right? Thurman was undefeated, knocking people out, and Pacquiao just beat the crap out of him. Like, it's right. So he's just proving people wrong. All right, whether it was gonna fight Spence, I thought he was probably gonna be able to do something with Spence too, because like Spence, I don't think he's the same after his car accident. Like, yeah, he's had one fight then, but I think like he's not the same, right? So I think Pacquiao had the edge because of that, and plus like Pacquiao is the older he's getting, right? He's just getting better and he's getting hungrier. Pacquiao is hungrier for some reason, right? So I'm gonna go with Pacquiao on this one too. Even though I don't know much about the Cuban guy, but because of like just judging by like seeing how well Pacquiao is progressing, seeing how well he's doing right now, I think Pacquiao might. Yeah, I'm following his training camp too and everything. Like, I'm seeing all his videos. Like, he's looking stronger and stronger, sharper, faster. He's smarter, right? So I think Pacquiao's experience is gonna take this one too. So it's gonna be good. I'm excited for this one. It's gonna be good.
Do you think it's better? And I want to get the professional opinions, Prince, before I go to you. Is it better that he's fighting an orthodox fighter rather than a southpaw? Like, I thought that the thing about Manny versus Spence that was going to be interesting was that they were two southpaws.
Mm-hmm. Well, southpaws they normally do better against orthodox fighters. Yeah, like that's what they're used to, right? From my experience, from like training with southpaws and seeing southpaws like train together, right? They don't normally like going against each other, right? It's awkward for them. They're not used to it because from the time they first start boxing, they're always going up against like a right-hander, like an orthodox fighter, right? So they're more used to that. So I don't know. I could be wrong about that too, but from what I experienced growing up as in fighting, southpaws have like better edge against orthodox. They like fighting orthodox fighters better. So I think this will be better for Manny, in my opinion. So.
I feel like Mark is going to continually put the fork in his daughter's left hand. Like, use your left. Use your left.
You're using the left hand.
Yes.
Do it.
Prince, who do you got for the fight?
Hey guys, listen. You'll be surprised at the fighter that I'm picking for this. The winner of this fight. You guys actually be really surprised. Who do you think I'm picking, Mark?
The Cuban guy, Ugas?
No, Manny. Manny. Hey, listen, okay, listen. I find Manny Pacquiao is like, again, as he gets older, he gets smarter, and he just knows how to get in there, and he loves these fighters, right? He loves these fast fighters because he just knows how to work with them. That very in and out style. People still haven't figured him out, right? And look at the resume that he has. 8 division world champion. He's been a champion for different decades, and I find with him, it's like, hey, if you have a fighter that hasn't lost and he wants to get the experience of losing a fight, here's Manny. Here's your sparring partner. There you go. Here you go. Right. So
who better to lose to? Yeah.
Who better to lose to, right? But you know what, guys? I was reading an article also about what happened with Keith when he lost against Manny. It hurt him so badly. Like, I guess he fell into a depression. I think he gained weight after he blew up to like 192 pounds just because of just the loss. He was expecting to retire Manny. He was going to be that generation fighter to knock him out and then finish him off, and it's done. But Manny just keeps on going, right? So I know Ugas is probably plotting the same thing, but yeah, I got Manny for this one for sure. Yeah. Tibby, who do you got?
Obviously, Manny. The reason why I will say is he hasn't even had time to digest that he's the main event of this thing, right? Like he gets put into this position with 2 weeks to go. Obviously, you're going to take it. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. Does he have a chance? Of course. But I feel like the pressure of that whole thing, there's no, mental preparation, I'm sure, Mark, that you can speak to. I mean, the mental preparation that you need to go into like a big high profile fight like this, you might not be so well prepared. And then the other thing is, I'll say, when you look up and, Mark, you're saying, I don't really know Ugas too much and you're a professional fighter. So if anyone should know, you should. Obviously, the layman does not. When I look up Ugas on Wikipedia, almost every fighter he's fought, you can't click on. Like, they're all black names. Like, there's no, you can't, which means they're all like kind of not like great fighters. You know what I mean? Like,
all the players are unlocked, like the unlocked.
So I don't know that he has the experience. I don't know that anybody really knows too much, but I don't know that he's got the experience and stuff like that. I feel like the pressure is going to get to him. I feel like Manny's going to get this one. And then,
but you never know. He's a Cuban fighter. How do Cuban fighters fight? Right? They're outside fighters. They're counterpunchers. Right? He's smart. He may use the ring well. Like, look at Rigondeaux. Right? I don't know if you guys watched Rigondeaux versus Casimero, the Filipino guy that beat Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux is a Cuban fighter, and he's a counterpuncher. And they all have like that great style, right? So that his style, I don't want to count him out just because like he's fighting Manny, but he may have a good game plan ahead of him. So
no,
we'll
that's true,
happens, right?
Mark. I did say that he only I think he's 26-4. Only 12 KOs, which means he does go the distance a lot. So who knows? Maybe that's going to play into his advantage. But anyways, it has come that time, Prince, to where we are going to do the last segment of our show, Mark. And then before we go, we will get you to run around the gym, Mark, so we can see what it looks like. But we do have something at the end of every episode called the Fight on Site. So we are going to put, in honor of you, Mark, we have for our Fight on Site, we have our Fight on Site Boxing Edition. So we are going to take two fighters. It's going to be a fantasy fight. We're putting them up, and we ask for people to come onto our Instagram on the weekend on Saturday. Come to our Instagram, and you're going to vote for the fighter that you think takes this fantasy fight. Prince, I am going first. And for my boxer, I am putting up a guy who I really just wanted to pay homage to him for everything that he does for MMA. He's got a boxing style. I'm going with Bobby King Green. My goodness. Man, this guy's fighting style is so incredible. Anybody that doesn't know him, you got to look him up. But Bobby Green, he's 27-12. He has a very good record, actually. He's 3 fight of the night performances, 1 performance of the night performance. The guy always puts on a show, but it's just his style. I mean, Mark, you've seen him fight, obviously, the way he just puts his hand up. He rolls, does a lot of very slick slips, a lot of like leaning back and whatever. And he's got very quick hands, throws it from his waist almost. Very exciting fighter. Love that guy. Prince, who do you have?
All right. So for our fighter, for my fight for Fight on Site, so the boxing edition, I've got Samuel Vargas. Vargas. So Mark, I don't know if you know him. So
I know.
He's a Canadian Colombian fighter, and his record is 31 wins, 14 by knockout, 7 losses, 2 draws. He's gotten championships in welterweight championship, WBA championship, interim WBA and BA welterweight championship as well, and super welterweight championship. So the reason why I picked this guy is because he was actually the very first Canadian bred fighter that I ever met in person. We were at Liberty Village. Yeah, we were in Liberty Village, Mark. We were ordering coffee, and I recognized him. I was like, and I'm standing there. I'm like, oh my. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, I know this guy is, and Samuel Vargas. And I said it out loud, and he heard it, and he turned around, and I'm like, Samuel, man, you're the only one doing it right now. Because like when I was listening to him, he was like one of the first fighters that I saw on Instagram that was actually getting into fights and actually blowing up. And so he was so humble. He took pictures, and he's like, yeah, man, and he was just so cool. And he's
had good fights, man. He's fought Errol Spence. He's fought Amir Khan. Like the guy, that is cool, man. I've known him for a long time. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah,
he's got a good style too.
Shout outs to Vargas. So hopefully we'll even actually get him on the podcast.
Yeah, you should get him on the podcast. He'd be good. He'd be good on the podcast.
Solid guy.
All right, well, Prince, here we go, my friend. It's now game time. It's now showtime.
Showtime. Okay, listen, Mark. Listen,
Mark, we're gonna need your help.
We need your
Okay.
help big time for this one, okay? And I'm gonna need all everything that you've got. So you're gonna put all these fighters in a fight simulator, and these fighters are gonna be represented under certain avatars, all right? And this is like a $300 million piece of equipment. So listen, it's cost a lot of money, so we need your help in here. We're just gonna need your help with the sound effects, okay? And so
Hold on. So, Mark, you're
Yeah.
once these guys go and start doing the fight, you are going to do the sound effects for the fight.
Okay.
All right. Okay. But first, Prince will show us the thing. All right, Prince, go ahead.
the simulator is expensive. The sound effects come another 300 million. So I'm just saying,
It's an add-on. It's an add-on. We couldn't afford.
it's an add-on. That's it. So for Timmy's fighter, we've got
Same sticker we've had many times, Mark.
listen, Mark.
Wolverine.
Listen, my Amazon package is coming. It's on its way. So let's just wait a little here, okay? And then for my fighter, we've got
Captain America, very nice. That's a new
Okay.
sticker at least, so
They-
we're upgraded.
There you go.
All
All
right.
right, Mark. Let's hear it, buddy.
All right. Bam, 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 bam. Boom. Bam, 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 bam. Knockout. Oh, I told you.
I was so
I knew it.
close.
I knew because I know I've said Sammy's got that aggressive style, right? He wasn't gonna let that guy breathe, so he's just gonna be on him. That's exactly what he did, right?
Man,
Exactly.
Mark,
Wolverine
I-
actually stuck on. That was crazy. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I was about to talk about.
I feel like Mark had a lot of belief in our simulator, was actually taking things into
Yeah,
account.
I thought it was a real thing happening right there. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
All right, Mark. Well, thank you for the sound effects. So again, people come to our Instagram on Saturday. You can vote on the fight Insight
Yeah.
fight simulator winner. Before we go, I'm just going to say a few things. Next week on the podcast, our guest is going to be South Korean UFC fighter Ji-yeon Kim, Fire Fist. We actually recorded the interview with her several weeks ago. But her fight got delayed, so we didn't air the interview. But she comes to us. It's a great interview. We're very happy to have her. She's one of our favorites. She fights on September 4th or September 3rd, I believe. So we're going to put her podcast up in next week. And we do have some sponsorship stuff that we're going to announce soon. So we're very happy about that. I was on a podcast, and I did want to give a shout out to Rich Butler of the Toys and Tech of the Trade podcast. I recorded a podcast talking all about Fight Insight, talking about like how we started, how we developed Prince. And so that's a great podcast. That's going to release soon. We'll shout that out. And the last thing is that we have our shirts and our tank tops for sale. Ta-da. If you would like a Fight Insight tank top or t-shirt, please do reach out to us, and we're taking orders. We're going to get a new delivery soon. All right. I think that's it.
Yeah, actually, before guys, remember, follow, you guys subscribe at YouTube, Fight Insight Podcast. Follow us at Fight Insight Podcast at Instagram. And if you can listen to us at Fight Insight Podcast at Spotify. All right. And you can follow us at the TikTok as well. The TikTok and the Facebook. We're also there as well too. All right. So
all right. So Mark, do you want to take us around the gym a little bit? So
Yeah,
you can
for
see?
sure.
All right. Let's
Sure,
do
let me
this
just-
before we go.
Get this going. Change my
Alright.
camera here. Sorry, my bad.
No worries.
All right.
Hey, Mark.
So, guys,
Mo-
My
Hey,
gym
Mark,
right here, guys.
Oh.
That's
Wow.
that's Anthony right there. That's Juan, Ryan Garcia. I was telling you about.
Hey.
Look how
And
huge
my
this place
team right
is.
here.
What the-
Yeah, it's my business partners. This is the personal training area. This is the boxing area right over here. Right.
Holy cow.
I'll show you the downstairs too. I'll walk you downstairs and then we'll go from there, right?
All right.
Hey,
Cool,
hey,
man.
Mark, before you go downstairs, can I use the washroom?
Downstairs.
Downstairs, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
All right,
Oh,
now
this
we're
is-
walking downstairs.
This is so nice, Mark.
There's Marlon right there. He's waving. There's Ryan right over there.
Hey,
I don't know if you
buddy.
can see them. Can you see them over there? I don't know.
Fight
Yeah.
Inside Podcast. We're here. Tell them they're doing a live podcast so people start amping up.
Yeah, they know. We're doing a live podcast. And
This is
Get
like
your area right
a
here.
high school. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, there's a jiu-jitsu area. That's where we do jiu-jitsu.
Oh wow.
All right, and that's the boot camp area right here.
What?
So yeah, there's people working out, so they probably won't be like in being recorded.
That's amazing.
But yeah, man, we got a big gym, 12,000 square feet. Yeah, and we're only growing too.
Mark,
But
like
220 members. So
yo, Mark, I was gonna say, like, your gym in, like, is it in a bunker? Like,
Yeah.
why is it so big? It's like massive. Like, it's like, here's our like boxing gym.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's a big gym, but yeah, here's my business partners. Oh, this is you know how I have Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
This is Andy Ruiz. My Andy Ruiz right here. Yeah, see this is my business partner. This is Ryan, and that's Marlon right here. There's Marlon. I don't know if you can see him. There's Marlon.
What's going on?
Shout out to
Ryan
Fight
right there.
Inside Toronto, Canada, baby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's
so Fight
awesome.
Insight. Yeah. So yeah, man. That's the gym.
Mark, that is so amazing. Thank you so much, Mark, for coming on the podcast. We
thanks for having me
appreciate it
on.
so much. Man, if you are in London, Ontario, people, go check out Mark. Go check out Get Enhanced Inc. You know, holy cow! Once you see that gym, why would you not be going there? That's beautiful.
Why not? Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. Mark, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We're huge fans of you. Huge fans of your career.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
We'll support you as in any way that we can. Is there anything you want to say before you go, Mark?
I'm good, man. Just come check me out here at Get Enhanced. Follow us on Instagram at Get Enhanced Inc. Follow me on Instagram, mark.pags. And yeah, if you want to know how to box, hit me up. So
All right.
Literally.
get to work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, thanks
guys.
for having me,
Have
guys.
a wonderful time. All right.
Thanks,
See you
bro.
guys.